headquarters of common sense. Talk Radio.
What's happened to schools is that they have increasingly become engines of propaganda. The children are taught what to think, as I repeatedly say, not how to think. And there's an awful lot of this goes on, and it's very hard to measure, and it's very hard to discover what's going on, because if there are very few instances where independent observers can actually get into schools at no notice at all, go into classes, find out what's going on. There were a couple of attempts to do so by a television station a few years ago, and which involved, I think, teachers taking part in this. And the teachers were disciplined for actually filming what was going on in their classes, which was largely just disorder. But I get letters from people saying that when their teachers have found out that their children have been reading the Mail on Sunday and the Daily Mail, they're held up as bad examples and told that their parents are reading the wrong newspapers. There is an awful lot of left-wing orthodoxy in schools, and as we know all the time, because this does come out in our universities as well, and it's a serious point. It's amazing that they can teach people what to think about the planet, but they can't teach them what 7 nines are.
Well, that's what I find extraordinary and rather sort of sinister in a way, because rather like your descriptions of the Blairites and their kind of deconstruction of the establishment and the rebuilding of a new establishment, as it were, in their image, this is all about reworking the minds, it seems to me, of a population.
Well, yes, it is. And the idea of getting rid of the grammar schools and bringing in a comprehensive system was driven very much by dogma and ideology, by people who believed you could create a utopian equal society by doing so. They were, of course, hopelessly wrong, because one of the things which has happened as a result of the crushing of the grammar schools is that education is far more unequal than it was in the middle 1950s. The best state schools, and they're not, in my view, very good, but let's accept that they're the best comprehensive schools, and the Sutton Trust and Teach First have done research on this, it's not just me saying it, are socially exclusive. That is to say, they have very low proportions of children on the general measures of policy. And we all know why this is, because of the catchment area trick, and also, of course, because of people who suddenly discover religious belief around about the time they're getting their children into secondary school. So we have people say, well, you want to go back to selection in education. I say we have selection in education. What we have is rigid, irreversible selection by wealth, instead of actually a far from rigid and often modifiable selection by ability, which in my view was much better.
Yes, I think so.
Good talk.
Hot talk. Bold talk. Talk Radio.
Listen on your smart speaker.
Watch it live on your smart TV. The world headquarters of common sense.
Talk Radio.